How often does your day begin with your thumb unlocking a phone and your attention leaking into an inbox before you've had a single intentional breath? That moment is the cognitive hurdle we're naming today. The morning blur that eats our cognitive bandwidth before work even starts. We used to think routines fix that, but there's a quieter, more powerful option: ritual. A cup of coffee becomes a signal. 5 minutes of jotting becomes a ceremony. Rituals give context. They do more than organize behavior. They prime the brain to treat the next block of time as meaningful. When the day begins without that signal, the prefrontal cortex has to do extra heavy lifting, and we feel scattered, indecisive, and low on energy. Now the psychological why. When we repeat an action in a stable setting, the basal ganglia begin to automate the sequence. Think of it as a conveyor belt that moves attention with less effort. At the same time, a brief, deliberate ceremony tells the prefrontal cortex to switch gears from diffusion to directed attention. There's evidence that small, consistent rituals reduce cortisol spikes and boost dopamine, so you feel calmer and a little more motivated. For people with ADHD or executive function challenges, those external anchors act as executive support. They reduce cognitive friction and lower the activation energy needed to get started. So what does a low-friction pivot look like? It's not elaborate. The best rituals are short, sensory, and repeatable. Choose one consistent trigger you care about: a steaming mug, a playlist, a scent. Pair it with 2 or 3 micro-actions that take 5 minutes or less. Add a breath or a gratitude prompt to quiet working memory. End with a simple intention to seal the shift from autopilot to purpose. Those steps create psychological safety. Your brain recognizes the pattern and moves into the work zone with less resistance. Here's a practical example. Fill your water bottle, brew a cup of tea, jot 3 tasks you genuinely want to do today. Roll your shoulders for 2 minutes, close your eyes and set an intention, and then hit play on a playlist that signals work mode. By the time the ritual ends, you're not just physically at your desk, you're mentally prepared to focus. Consistency is the hard part. That's where voice-first workflows reduce friction. We're talking about neural unloading, offloading tiny administrative burdens so your brain can do the creative and executive work it was designed for. A voice-first task manager lets you capture moments without breaking the ritual. Instead of fumbling for an app, you speak. For example, say, "Hey NXT, morning ritual started," to log the time and begin a short timer. Speak your priorities. Add priority, draft client proposal. And NXT parses the language, tags a deadline, and schedules reminders. Say an intention. Set intention. Today I'm focused and on task. Stay curious, and NXT will log that affirmation and can prompt you later if you drift. That kind of capture keeps your brain in the ritual zone. You don't have to remember to enter tasks, set timers, or juggle acts. NXT becomes a second brain that supports the ceremony, nudges you when you stray, and even offers celebratory prompts when you complete the ritual, closing the dopamine loop that helps the habit stick. If you're starting small, keep it small. Trim a 10-minute ceremony to 5 if you need to. Pair the ritual with an existing habit like brewing coffee. Track progress in a low-pressure way, and be flexible when travel or tight schedules demand adaptation. Reflect weekly for 2 minutes to notice how your rituals affected energy and focus. Persistence beats perfection. Even a slightly imperfect ritual keeps the automation alive. We're not aiming for hustle, we're aiming for intentionality. Rituals are a form of mental health maintenance, a way to reduce decision fatigue, protect cognitive bandwidth, and foster a calm, focused start to the day. If you'd like to make this practical, try folding a voice-first tool into your ceremony. Speak your priorities aloud, and notice how much less mental overhead you carry. For more detail, including a step-by-step ritual design and examples of quick prompts to use in NXT, read the full article. The link is in the episode notes.